Hi there, it's Lori from Lollipop Paper and Ink. Thanks so much for joining me today and welcome to my stamp studio. I have been waiting to get into this new Butterfly Brilliance bundle, and it's an early release set of products that are not in the catalog. They won't be in the catalog until the new one comes out in May, but Stampin' Up! Has released this early release for customers, and it is limited though. What the stamp set and the dies will be available in the catalog, but the papers will not, and that's kind of the highlight of the whole bundle. So I wanted to show you individually what you get with it. So this is the stamp set. It's called Butterfly Brilliance. It is one huge stamp set. Now, there have been talk of some demos or customers feel like they want to go ahead and cut it up into individual ones. That's totally up to you. These stamps do cut very nicely, and they would fit back if you wanted to put them on a, put them back together again and do it as a one stamp. If you are going to stamp it as a whole with the whole stamp, you would need either, I think this is the biggest, this is letter F, the biggest block that Stampin' Up! Carries. But what I've been using is my Stamparatus. And this way, because it is such a large stamp, it is a little difficult to guarantee that you're going to get a great image on your first try. So I would recommend that you use your Stamparatus, and you can't lose with that. You can just keep doing it until you get the image that you want, and make sure that all the colors are perfect. So so that's my first tip, that I would use that. I'm not going to go ahead and cut mine. I think that they're perfectly fine like this. The dies that come with it are called, and I do have this on my blog, so I'll put the link down there for that. But this was just picked up from the catalog, the website, excuse me, and to show you what is available and what the item numbers and the prices are. This is definitely on my blog, so I will put the link back for that. So the dies are really the star of the show here, as far as I'm concerned. So it's called the Brilliant Wings dies, and beautiful. You can see they have the intricate dies that you can cut out individually once you have it stamped, or this one die stamps out all of the stamps, all of the images in one shot, but you would get the 6 different butterfly die cuts. Now, the other thing that I love about this is the paper. So the paper is 6x6, it's 48 sheets, beautiful patterns, a little bit neutral, and then the butterflies on the other side. The great thing about this stamp is that you can see, as I did it right here, this die crops out this large butterfly sheet, and see how pretty that is. And I'll show you the different ways that you can use the butterfly stamps. It's perfect for coloring with your blends, watercoloring. So I tried a few things to see which I liked best, but this to me is just gorgeous. And I mean, one run through the cut and emboss machine, and you're good to go. So you can see it comes right out of there. So that was one of my, that is my favorite part of that. But if you wanted to get more of the intricate dies, you could certainly cut them out with these. And I did a bunch of these in the vellum also, just to be able to put on top of another, if it was like a plain image, which we're going to do today, so I'll show you that. But I wanted to show you all of these dies. This one here does crop out a little brick image, and I'll show you excuse me, I'll show you a card that I did with that. It has two totally little tiny butterfly images that it would crop out. And we're also going to use this one here today. And let me show you a few. And hang around with me till the end because I do have several more projects that I wanted to show you. So for this one here, I'm using, now I forgot to tell you, along with the 6x6 paper, you do have this specialty paper that's available. And it is, I have mine kind of chopped up, but it's 12 by 12. And I'm not sure if you can see it, but it has like a grain to it. In addition to just the photo of the wood grain, but you can actually see some of the grain work in here, and it's very thin, and has a little bit of a sheen to it, so that's beautiful too. And I use that here for this card, and I just wanted to show you, this is where I use that little brick cutout to just pop up some of the beautiful colors that were on one of the back sides of the DSP. And then today we're going to be using this one, and this is just another very monochromatic, and I just popped up a butterfly that I had watercolored, and I'll show you a few of those that I had did. Some of them look better than others, depending upon what color you chose. So this is the one we're going to use today for this kind of card. I'm going to switch up the colors a little, but I put a panel of the gold foil behind this, and I'm not sure if you can see. Yeah, you can. It's a little shiny, so I just wanted that a little bit to pop up. And all right, so we're going to use that today. Let me go back to showing you what some of the samples of when I was just testing to see which one which way I would want to use the butterflies with the stamp. So this one here shows you, this was just the ones that were cropped right out from that 6x6 DSP. And you can see how pretty that is. And they crop out beautifully. They're sized perfectly for that. Okay, so that's quick and easy. Here I just did some blends. I used my blends markers, and I just colored in just different shades of the different colors. Some of them I like better. I seem to have focused more on the mint macaron. I felt like that came out the nicest. And if you like bold, this magenta madness was perfect too. So this is with the blends. This was just cut out right from the paper. This was a few of the watercolor butterflies that I colored in. Excuse me. And I stamped it first with the saddle brown StazOn ink, because that's what we'll need to use when we're watercoloring. We can't use the Memento. It would bleed through. So I did this on watercolor paper, which is a lot thicker. And I like the way that came out. So much so I did use that on this one here that I already showed you. So that's how it would look if you wanted to watercolor it. This is one that I used, just a few that I used my blending brushes on. And the blending brushes are really simple to use. I stamped it with my Stamparatus with Memento black ink, and just took different blending brushes while it was still all one sheet, and then I went ahead and then I die cut it from there. But I like that. You can use your blending brush to make it a little bit darker on the inside, however you want to do it. And the last thing I did was I just stamped it in the full blocks of this full block stamp, and I just stamped it in Calypso Coral. I just wanted to see how that would look. After I got it out, what I did was I just took a sponge dauber, and I just filled in a little bit of the inside color, just to give it a little bit more color here, right from the center of the body. And I like the way that came out. And then this, I had done just a full sheet of vellum, and my mind was thinking like, well, if this looks a little boring, or if it's, you know, it's just not going to pop enough, then I cropped out the vellum, and I think that just makes it perfect. That you can just use anything with that. And we're going to use that also too today. Before we get started, this is the one that we're going to replicate. I'm going to use a different color. I'm going to use the Bermuda Bay today. But this butterfly, the big one that I had pulled, that I had cropped, was just the opposite side of one of the other sheets of the butterfly. The little butterflies. Let me see if I can find one of those here. No, it wasn't that one, but you can see how pretty these backgrounds are. So it was this one here with the stream of butterflies flying. So all I did was took that one large die, and I made sure that I got enough of the Calypso coral out of that cut when I was sending it through. And that's just what I did here. And just to give it a little, very subtle color. And that's what this is, came right from this paper. And then I thought the vellum would pick that up nicely. So that's the background information. I think once you get into it, you will be very happy, and you'll see how easy it is, and how many designs are just going to be floating through your head by the time you're halfway through. All right, so first we're going to do the cropping, and I'm just going to take that little splatter die. And I'm going to have to bring the cut and emboss machine, the big one, in here. And so I'm hoping it doesn't shake too much, but just bear with me. I'm going to have to run it through a few times. So this is the outline. This is the top layer. And I just want to place it, let's see if you can see that here. I'm just going to place it here in the corner for my first run through. Okay, and then again, I want to have it, I'm going to use one of the gold hoops, so I want to have this into the hoop. So this is going to be a little bit inside. Okay, and my last one will be down here. And you can see how nicely this pops right through. There's really no need to even having to go through it again, except for that one little spot, which I got. And also what I did with the, just a little tip, when I'm using really intricate dies, like these dies here, or this little guy, I could have done it with this, because see, I have the little dots are all filled with the paper, so I will have to go through with my brush or just poke them out. But if I had put down a piece, which I usually do, especially when I'm doing a lot of them, I put a dryer sheet down in between the plate and the paper, and then the die just goes right up on top, and you would be amazed. It just completely comes, every piece comes popping right out, and there's no mess, because all the little dots stay right there on the plate or on the dryer sheet. So okay, so let's just layer this up a little. I wanted my gold foil to show through, so I'm going to and these are the same measurements, so this can just go right over on top of it. Okay, and then I have, just to pick up a little bit of the gold, I felt that this specialty paper did that pretty well, so I'm going to put that on here. And I have just a tiny border around here, just 1/8 of an inch. And this is very thin, so be careful. Okay, so let's get this on here while, because we don't have any ribbon to wrap. We're just going to wrap our hoop, our gold hoop. Okay. Now, what I did here was this was just taken, this was one of the complete butterflies that I had taken right from that top sheet with the full die. But I'm using the back side of it, so you can, I wanted the Bermuda Bay to show up. And we're going to put that on there just so that that gives it a little bit of color when we're going to pop it up over here. But let's do a little bit of stamping. And in this case, I think I'm just going to stamp right on the, right onto the DSP. I just sliced a little piece off there. And this Thinking of You stamp is from the Vine Designs stamp set, which has really beautiful sentiments on there. And it has one big vine design. And so that's the only thing, is this does not have any sentiments, so you will have to use something else. Okay, and I'm doing that in the Bermuda Bay also. All right, so we can hold that for later. I'm taking one of my gold hoops embellishments. These were from the annual catalog. And what we're going to do is put that on first here. And I'll show you how I adhere the gold hoops, and also how I'm going to adhere the this vellum to the butterfly. You could use some glue dots, but since I already have my liquid glue out, I'm going to just use it that way. So I just put a little bit into the corner here, and oh, it looks like I'm all stuffed up there. Okay. And then I'm going to take a little bit of it and spread it out with a little, just pouncing it. And then take one side, and just be careful to keep the glue just on that one side, because if you get it on your fingers, it might just muck up the glue on the other side. It might be a little hard to see it shiny. I mean, you'll still see it, but. And then just give that a second. So while I have my glue out, just going to give a little bit more, and then I'm going to put some here right into the middle. I think I need a little more. Right into the middle of the, boy, this is crazy. Okay, that should be good enough. And let's put that right onto the butterfly, right into the center there. And give it a little press, and that should be good to go when we're ready for that. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is, we can add that on right at the end. But I'm going to take some of the the gold twine, I call it, from the Forever Greenery bundle that was in the annual catalog also. And I'm just going to circle it around 2 times. I want it to go on the outside of the hoop. So, and we're just going to keep it as close to the edge as we can. Get rid of that. And then I'm going to put just a little bit, I could put a glue dot right onto the cardstock, and that's right outside the loop there. And it's going to be covered up by the butterfly anyway. So I'm just going to lay my little circles, my little hoops down right onto that glue dot. Okay, and then when we put our sentiment tag over it, that will help keep it in place too. But I just wanted it a little bit of extra gold around there. And I'm going to just get rid of this. Okay, that's good. All right, I'm going to take my ribbon, my twine again, and I'm just going to make a double bow right out of this. And that's just going to go right on top of the butterfly. Okay, so that's good to go for when we're ready for that. All right, so let's put our butterfly on here. I'm going to, I'm going to put on our sentiment just to make sure we're spacing that okay. And then let's get this bow onto the butterfly. Okay, and if you want, you can spread. I like to kind of just have that open. You can just take your a pen or anything with a pointy, sharp side and just open those up a little bit. I think it gives it a little bit of a softer look. And that's going to go on top there. So let's put some dimensionals on here, and I think I can get away with the big ones. And I'm going to put one right into the middle. Get rid of that guy. Okay, so this is right on the outside there. This is in the middle. So I have my, I wanted it to lift up just a little bit. And then we can put more dimensionals on here. Okay, and he's going to go right there, so we get to see the, oops, let me put him under here. There we go. So, see how pretty that is? Pretty close to what we have here. The gold just adds a little bit of extra bling to the project. So, okay, before you go, let me show you just a few more that I had done with this bundle. This one I did a little fancy fold, and this is just a quick thank you card. This again was just cropped right out of the DSP, and then I have different layers of DSP here, and I stamped here too for when it's open, and then I also left a little white blank space on the back so that you'd be able to write your sentiment on there for that one. So this belly band just makes it a little bit extra special. This one here, I just used one that was cropped right out, and I used the brick die to cut out this little, just a little accent piece to that corner of the card. And this one too was all from the cropped right out from the DSP. This one I used the die from the Simply Succulents bundle, and I used my blending brushes to add some color onto that, and this is the Rococo Rose. And just again, this one I did fussy cut because the little die does not do that one. So so that's it. I hope that you enjoy my projects and a few of my tips that I have. I will have all of the information on my blog. It is already on my blog, and I will give you the link for that. And if you have any questions or would need any help placing an order, please feel free to contact me. I'd love to hear from you. Okay, thanks so much for joining me again. Have a great day. Stay safe. Bye-bye.